This is GeoLinker 868, a perfect open source development board for remote monitoring and GPS tracking. Well, why do I say that? First thing, it has the ESP32 S3 for high-speed processing and Bluetooth and Wi-Fi capabilities. And it also has the SIM868 GSM modem for cellular network and also with inbuilt GNSS for GPS capabilities. But that is not even the best part. See, this board here readily supports the GeoLinker GPS tracking platform, meaning you can track the location of your board, visualize its path, and also monitor all the sensors connected to your board live on cloud for free, just like this. Further, you can purchase your board with Airtel IoT M2M SIM card, which comes with free data, free calling, and SMS for the first 3 months. Not convinced yet? Let's take a closer look. The board here is very compact but still has an onboard PCB antenna design for your GSM antenna as well as your GPS antenna. So what this means is for this development board, you don't need to use any additional antennas like this. All you need is an 18650 cell and a SIM card. On top of all of this, the board also comes with its own Arduino library with tons of example codes and tutorials. And even the hardware is completely open source and well documented. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can get started with the GL868 ESP32 development board and point you towards some resources so that you can build amazing projects with this. This is Ashwant and welcome back to another video of CircuitDigest. Let's get started. Okay, to start with, we have to do two things. One is power on the module and another is to insert a SIM card. To power on the module, you can either use a LiPo battery or a lithium-ion battery. What I'm going to do here is I want to use this Wattmine 18650 cell, which is 2600 mAh. The reason is it will fit snug behind your development board like this. So once you power on, you can notice that the onboard LED here will start to boot up after 4-5 seconds. Once your ESP is booted, you will see the LED indications doing something based on the factory firmware, which is by default loaded on all boards. We will get into the factory firmware soon, but before that, let's talk about SIM cards. So the GSM modem here is the SIM868, which supports 2G, meaning you have to use a 2G supported Airtel or BSNL SIM card if you're in India. But you can also buy your GeoLinker development boards with IoT SIM cards from Airtel. So what you will get is these SIM cards will give you 120 MB of data per month, 200 SMS per month, and 100 minutes of outgoing call per month for free for the first 3 months. After that, you can recharge for just rupees 50 per month for the same plan, and still it is much cheaper than having a normal SIM card for Jio or Airtel. Now, at the end of the day, this is still a SIM card, so you would have to activate it after purchasing and do KYC. But all of that is made very simple by the GeoLinker web dashboard. So if you're working on IoT projects in scale, say for example, you want to deploy 10-20 nodes with cellular network and GPS tracking, or if you want to deploy it for years together, then this will be much cheaper than having a normal SIM card. Getting an IoT SIM card in India is really difficult for individual makers and engineers or even small companies working on prototypes, which is why we wanted to give an M2M IoT SIM card with our GeoLinker development board. That being said, let's pop open this SIM card and insert it in the SIM card tray on the back side. And I will show you first how to activate the SIM card and then run you through the factory firmware. Okay, so the best place to start is your wiki page, which is available on our website. You can also open it by scanning the QR code at the bottom of this development board or use the link in the description. So the wiki page will tell you everything that you need to know about the development board, its specifications, how the GeoLinker dashboard would work, the hardware overview, the pinouts, and everything that you would possibly need, including the circuit diagram, firmware, everything that you would possibly need to work with this development board can be found on the wiki page. Now, like I told you, I'm going to use the Airtel IoT SIM card and show you how to activate it. But if you're using your own SIM card, say for example, a SIM card which you're already using with Airtel or BSNL, you don't have to worry about the activation steps. Irrespective of what SIM card you have, first make sure you insert the SIM card into your development board. So here the symbol of the SIM card is also shown along with the orientation. We have written Airtel here, but you can use any 2G SIM card of your choice. So once your SIM card is inserted, you should power on the module. Make sure you always power it on after the SIM card is inserted. Otherwise, your SIM card might not be detected. So what I'm doing is I have powered on my development board and I'm also connecting it to my computer using the Type-C connector over here. And if you go to Tools port, you can see my board being discovered as USB modem 1101. So I'm going to click on it and open serial monitor. Now on the serial monitor, I'm not seeing anything, but I'm going to press the reset button on my board and we can see that the modem boots with the factory firmware and you can see the SIM card information over here. So this is the details of the SIM card which I have inserted into my development board. And you can see that LED error, no network, because the SIM card is not registered yet. So what we have to do is we have to go to GeoLinker dashboard and activate the SIM card. So to do that, I'm going to just search for CircuitDigest Cloud and get into CircuitDigest Cloud, and there is this tool called GeoLinker. I want to click on View. So this is the dashboard where we'll be visualizing our board, track its status and everything. But first, let's activate the SIM card. To do that, there is an option called Airtel IoT SIM card. I'm going to click on that. And over here, I already have a SIM card active under my dashboard. But what you have to do is you have to click on Activate SIM. And it is going to ask for your ICC ID number of your SIM card. Now keep this confidential. The ICC ID number will be shown on the serial monitor. So copy this, paste it here, and then enter your own personal mobile number. Here I'm just entering a random number and then click on send OTP. Once you verify your OTP, your SIM card will be activated and you will have that free data, free call and free SMS for the next 3 months. Now, once the SIM is activated, you can start using it, but within a week, you have to complete the KYC procedure as well. So you go back to your dashboard and you will see your ICC ID number here and you will also see the phone number of your SIM card. So this is very important. So this number that you see here is the actual phone number for the IoT M2M SIM card. And if you count the number of digits, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. You will find 13 digits. Normally, our phone numbers will be 10, but IoT M2M SIM cards will have 13 digits. So this is the phone number to which you can make calls, from which you will get SMS. So this is your M2M IoT SIM card. Now, to activate KYC, you have to get into view details. Now, this particular SIM card says that it is active and KYC compliant because I have already done my KYC. But if you have not done it, you can get into view KYC and again link the same phone number which you used earlier. You have to submit an ID proof, either Aadhaar card or driving license, and do a selfie verification and then enter your address and the device name for whatever device you're using it with. And then you can go through all the steps and complete your KYC to make sure that your SIM stays active all the time. Like I mentioned earlier, your SIM card will have 3 months of free data. So once you activate it, you will also get an expiry date. Mine was activated in 19th February, so it's 3 months from then. Now, if you don't recharge, your SIM will be automatically deactivated and you won't be able to use it after that. Now, if we go back to the serial monitor, you can see I'm just going to quickly reboot the device here. So as soon as I reboot, you can see step 1, modem power on. Yes, modem is running, SIM card information available. And then it's asking us to go and activate it with this link, but we have already done it. And then you can see that your SIM card is ready. So this means your SIM is activated. Normally, it might take like a 10 to 15 minutes window after you do your OTP verification for the SIM card to activate. KYC can be done within 7 days after your SIM card is activated. Now, it's registered. You can see the operator is Airtel and the signal quality is also very good. The next thing is API key. So now we have to send data from our device to the cloud. So we need an API key from CircuitDigest Cloud. To get that, just go into API keys and you will find your key over here. Just copy your key and then enter your key over here. So once you enter your key and press enter, it is going to automatically take that key save it into its memory, and then restart again. So this is just a one-time procedure. As soon as you give your key, it's going to remember it forever. So now let's reset the board again, and we can see API key is loaded from NBS, and which is non-volatile storage. And then modem is ready. SIM card information is displayed again, and then it's gonna search for the network to get a network, and then it's gonna start GPS tracking. So this is when, so yeah, it also tells device is ready, and you can call this device and get a location via SMS. You can also send the SMS like LOC to get the location of the device. You can also send status. So these messages you can send to the IoT number, the M2M 13-digit number, which I just showed you. So now you can see the modem is power on, SIM card ready, SMS system initialized, call system initialized, and you can see GSM register powering on GSM, GPS power on verified, and then GPS power on, GPS wait fixed. This means our board here is trying to connect to the GPS satellites out there. So right now I am indoors, so it might not work very well. So for the very first time you are doing this, I would suggest you keep it near a window or take it to your rooftop till you get that GPS signal. In fact, I'm going to do exactly that. So I'm going to keep this near a window. In fact, I have a window right here. So I'm going to keep it near this window and wait for the GPS fix. Okay, so it's been a couple of minutes and our last status was GPS wait fix. From there, we have fixed on our satellites. So what has happened here is we have got our GPS signals, and then it has fetched the current location and it has sent the data to CircuitDigest.cloud successfully. So you can see the HTTP status here, data sent successfully. So it's going to be there in sleep mode for 300 seconds, and then it's going to wake up and get the location again and send it to the cloud. Or if you move the development board, the accelerometer would kick in and it would wake up again and get the location and send it to the cloud. So if you're traveling, your location would get updated much faster. But now, where has this data been sent? Where can we visualize it? To do that, you have to get back into CircuitDigest.cloud and click on View under GeoLinker. And if I click on Map, we should be able to see the latest location that we just sent from our module. Let me refresh. Okay, so here, as you can see, GL868 ESP32. So this is the data that we have received from our development board. In fact, if I click on it, you can see the exact location where I am sitting right in the office. So now if you click on this dot, you will have many other details like the exact location coordinates, the battery percentage of our development board, and then the speed, accuracy, altitude, number of satellites we connected, signal strength, everything. So that being said, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this module and remove this connector because it's already powered with a battery. Now I'm going to take this for a ride and I want to show you how our location is getting updated on this platform. So let's do it. Okay, so I'm inside my car and you can see our GPS tracker connected to the lithium battery over here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just go around and see how the location is getting updated. So I'm just driving around slowly. One thing that I wanted to show is whenever the module wakes up, you can notice that NeoPixel LED blinks in blue color to show that it is getting the location. And once it gets the location, it's going to change the color and blink in white to indicate that it is now sending the location to the cloud. So let me just keep it here and drive around slowly for some more distance to show you how it actually updates in the map. Okay, so I'm back from the testing and as you can see, the location is tracked on our map. Let me quickly zoom in. So we are back to our spot. So we started here. As long as I was inside the building, you can see the GPS values were a bit erratic. It went up and down. But once it started getting onto the road, you can see the values are pretty consistent. Now on this dashboard over here, you can click on any value to see the status of the device at that particular point. For example, here we are measuring the altitude and showing the battery, but you can actually connect a DHT11 sensor or a gas sensor to this and measure the particular gas values or temperature and humidity values at that particular point. In fact, if you go to the left and click on history, you can see the complete telemetry data So there is a JSON payload that you can add to each of the set points. So over here, we have set heading, accuracy, and speed as its payloads, but you can connect a DHT11 sensor here and add temperature, humidity, or a particular gas value, or a particular pollution value at that particular point. You can measure anything that is capable of being measured with an ESP32 on the sensor. So yeah, this history over here shows you at what frequency the location was getting updated and the speed at which we are going and the battery at that particular point. So coming back to the map, if I click on this, we'll be able to zoom in and see our path. There are also a lot of options on the left side. You can click on this to view everything in full screen. If you want to share this map details with someone, you can export it as a CSV or even share it to other people who are on CircuitDigest.cloud. You can delete it, take a screenshot, you can get your current location and much more. So there are a couple of things that you can do with this map, and you can also change the street view to satellite view and, get a more rich map. But for now, let me keep it to OpenStreet only. So yeah, not just visualizing data on map and sensor values on map, you can also communicate with your development board through text and phone calls. So the factory firmware also supports that. So let me quickly go back to Airtel IoT SIM. So this is the mobile number of your M2M SIM card. So I want to send a text message to that mobile number. I want to just type LOC in caps, and I am going to send this to this number. So what it does is the SIM868 is going to read this module, and the ESP32 is going to reply back by getting the current location of the board and reply back to the same SMS. So I have sent the message now. Let's wait for the reply. So yeah, here I have got the reply from our GeoLinker development boards. So it is going to give you a link along with the time, status, and everything. If I click on the link, it's going to open Google Map, and it is going to plot the location on Google Map to indicate where is the current status of your development board. So yeah, this is how the factory firmware works, and this is just touching the surface of what you can possibly do with your GeoLinker development board. Now, the next thing I want to show you is how to use it with your Arduino IDE. So I'm going to connect this board back to my computer. Then I'm going to get into Arduino IDE. So like I mentioned earlier, the board also has its dedicated library. So let's quickly install it by getting into Library Manager and search for GL868, which is GeoLinker 868. You can see GL868 by Semicon Lab. You just have to install it. I have already installed, so I'm skipping that step. Once you have installed, you will find a lot of example codes. So just go into File, Examples, and look for GL868 ESP32. So we have example codes for basic, where you can do basic tracking, make a call, and intermediate, advanced, and factory. So the factory firmware is what I just demonstrated to you. If I click on the factory firmware, it's going to open the code file. You can read through it again if you. So this is just an example code, but you can write your own code. Obviously, start from the example codes. You can see a minimal example for making a call, basic tracking, sending data to server. You can also see some intermediate example codes where you can do home automation using SMS. So you have your GPIO pins, you have your ESP32 and SIM868, so you can make a call to control a device, send an SMS to control a device, and you also have some advanced projects which you can build, like SOC panic button, vehicle tracker, pet tracker, asset tracking, cold storage monitoring, and a lot more. So yeah, this is just to give you an idea on what you can possibly do with this development board and how to get started. You can read through the example code or the wiki page to understand how the code works. It's pretty self-explanatory. We will also be making a ton of tutorials based on this, where we'll be getting in depth on each of this code. So yeah, this is how you get started with your GL868 ESP32 GeoLinker development. So that is it, guys. Hope you enjoyed watching this video and learned something useful. If yes, please do consider subscribing to our channel. The complete wiki page for this GeoLinker development board can be found in the description, where you can find tons of tutorials, example codes, Gerber circuit diagram, and whatever you'll possibly need to build with this. That being said, this is Ashwin signing off. Have a great day. Ta-ta. Bye-bye.